and get a roll call, please.
Okay, I'll start with the virtual statement. Good morning. Due to the governor's order, all members of the Downtown Winston-Salem Business Improvement District Advisory Committee are participating virtually. For virtual meetings, committee members will be muted until asked to be heard. At that time, they will be recognized and will be unmuted. When there is a vote, it will be necessary to take a roll call vote. A committee member will be recognized and will raise their hand and verbally state their vote. Today's meeting is a public meeting. Per the notice posted, citizens can listen to the meeting if they contacted city staff to make the necessary arrangements. The meeting also will be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, which can be accessed by the City of Winston-Salem's YouTube page. Now for roll call, Tony Brett.
I am here even though I can't see myself.
Yeah, we see a gray screen, but glad you can.
Yeah, I did something wrong, but I'm here.
Perfect. Kelly Brown.
Hi, good morning.
Mike Cashin.
Good morning, I'm here.
Chad Cheek. Rodney Davis. Lauren Desai. Vivian Joyner.
Present.
Shannon Meyer.
Present.
And Charles Wilson. Okay.
Right. Folks, thanks everyone for showing up this morning. We do appreciate it. The next order of business is to get the minutes of the last meeting approved. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Tony. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved in second. Meredith, the city report?
Yes, hold on. We just need to do a roll call vote on that action. I apologize.
I'm sorry.
Tony Brett?
I approve.
Kelly Brown?
Approve.
Mike Cashin?
Approve.
Chad Cheek? Rodney Davis? Lauren Desai? Vivian Joyner?
Approve.
Shannon Meyer?
Approve.
And Charles Wilson. Okay. So good morning. I'll provide the city staff update. I have a very brief update in that I just wanted to give you all some information on Marshall Park and where we stand there. The utility plans have been approved, and so the next phase of that would be contracting out the utility work, and that would be done by Mayfair. So that's kind of where we stand right now with Marshall Park. If you all have any questions regarding other city projects going on downtown, please let me know. We're still working on 1st and 2nd Street conversion. And so that the concrete work has been somewhat completed. We're doing a changeover to continue working on that. So that's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
Do we expect that work, the direction change to take place before fall?
I can get that finalized timeline. I imagine it won't be complete by fall, just because of some of the other work and the change order that's being required to continue the concrete work. So,
okay, thank you.
So I'd like to say good morning. I just got the meeting invite about 5 minutes ago. And so I apologize for not being here at 9 o'clock.
Ms. Hairston, Ms. Hairston is a citizen who requested to join our meeting, just FYI. So Vivian, if you would like for her to, I'm not certain why she wanted to join, but Chair, if you would like her to speak now, or she can just listen into the meeting.
Well, first I would like to ask which meeting, because I've been just involved with so many things with the city of Winston-Salem, trying to rehabilitate my childhood neighborhood since 2017.
Ms. Hairston, we have an agenda that we're following, and there's some rules order to the meeting. And so we haven't opened the public comment portion quite yet.
No, what I'm saying is I don't even understand. I would like to know what this meeting is.
All right, Ms. Harrison, my name is Vivian Joyner. I am the chair of the bid committee, and this is the bid committee, and we take care of doing looking at and being helpful to the city, doing improvements for the center city, the business district of downtown Winston-Salem. Okay.
Thank you. I just wanted to be sure what I was attending and what to be listening for.
All right.
If I may, if Ms. Harrison, if you'd like to, you can call me. I'm the staff person for the group, and you can call me and I'd be happy to get you acclimated and fully briefed on the work that we do. And, you know, at your convenience, my phone number, if you'd like to write it down, is 336-354-1500. And so I could get you plugged in if that is beneficial to you. We're always looking for people to get involved.
Okay, thank you so much. I will definitely give you a call.
Yes,
thank you.
Good morning. Hey, Kevin, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Vivian. I just wanted to say good morning to everyone. I'm just listening in the background whenever I have an opening on my schedule. I try to listen in on meetings so that I can get up to speed. I have no agenda and I can't stay with you the whole time. So good morning, have a great meeting, and I'm going to turn my video off, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks,
Good
everyone.
to see you, Kevin.
You as well.
All right. So if we would continue. Anyone have any questions for Meredith before we go on to Jason? Then Jason, the business improvement updates.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm first going to talk about just verbally a lot of the things that have been going on. And then I'm going to show you guys some PowerPoint that has the budget, a draft budget for y'all to consider. And so that's where I'll start. I want to say, first of all, the pandemic is at a new stage now. And I've talked a lot about this with the local media, so you may have seen this in the media reports, is that we are at a stage where it's almost early May. We're anticipating, but not guaranteed, that the governor will reopen without restrictions. There'll still be some restrictions and everybody still needs to be cautious, but that in large part, June 1st is what's shaping up to be possibly the date. And regardless, though, the restaurants that have reopened are allowed 75% capacity on the indoors. And so along with folks' ability to eat outdoors, the capacity at the restaurants that are open is often the restaurants are at capacity. Everyone is hiring. Not every restaurant has reopened. I've been keeping track of the ones that are still temporarily closed. And I think a lot of them, if I would say, is that they're really dependent upon lunch traffic. In particular, I can name names, but I think that's the ones where we're still seeing a good chunk of office workers that have not been called back to work as of yet. And so we're still seeing a little bit of slowness at lunchtime, but dinner time, particularly on weekends where there's better weather, which this week is going to be really probably the first week we're going to see temperatures in the 80s. We're seeing a real uptick in just people using downtown, using the scooters. And it's, to put that in perspective, that isn't noteworthy except for the fact that we haven't seen that since last early March. So that's been over a year. And so those are all things that for us as the downtown team, the thing with the clean team environment right now, we go through different cycles of the year. We have seasonal weather. This is what we call pollen season. And pollen season is actually a real thing. And you see that with just a lot of the blowing of the pollen off the sidewalks and off of the furniture. So you'll hear a lot like leaf season or snow season or just the hot season. There's a lot of different things that happen each time of the year on the sidewalk. So right now we call it really high volume traffic, we're getting back to a lot more trash, a lot of things that are hitting the sidewalks from the high level of pedestrian activity. We're seeing bars reopen, and we're seeing in some ways some behavioral issues that are probably easy to predict, with people being pent up and cooped up for a year and not being able to mingle in outdoor activities. So we're working with our police and coordinating on a couple of acute issues that have come up. Nothing out of the ordinary for downtown. However, it's just something that we haven't had to deal with since the pandemic. These are all what I would call barometric measures that things are slowly, gradually getting back to some normalcy, not normal, but slowly evolving. I think one of the last big things that we'll see is when we probably get into July and September, as we get into those dates through the summer, that's when I think most businesses will be back to all office workers, and we're slowly seeing that gradually happen. Now, that's not for everybody, but that's what I'm hearing from some of the major employers. So all of that is in line with the vaccination rates and the all the other benchmarks that the governor's laid out. So we are planning on having our summer music series starting in late June, Summer on Liberty and Downtown Jazz, if we're allowed. They currently aren't allowed, but we are submitting our permits now and securing sponsorships and going forth with those 18 events. Some of the things that we're also been doing, and we've talked about this in the past meeting, is that the Trade Street retail corridor had seen a lot of conversations, and we talked about, we did the streetery in the summer and fall, and that was something that we wanted to find the spirit of that, but also make it something that was more inclined to not only help retail as well, and restaurants and coffee shops and bars. So we created a supplemental event called the Shoppery. That's on the third Friday of each month on Trade Street. We've done 2 of those, and the weather's been okay for both, but I think we're going to have our last one in May. And we've been working with bringing some interesting and positive performing arts to this one. This one will actually include some students from the School of the Arts who will do some of the live performances of some of their, what you might see in branded events called Cirque du Soleil, which you guys have probably seen. So they'll be doing some of that acrobatics, all safe, of course, and insured and permitted, and socially distanced and all of that. But it will be little micro pockets of performances along with musicians and open stores and retailers. Then we're ongoing with the streetery programming. We're also taking advantage of the good weather and doing some photography for some upcoming advertising that we're going to be doing on behalf of downtown that promotes the environment downtown and encouraging people to get back to downtown. We've had a reopening committee that talked about a number of different things. We had talked about doing a large event program. The reopening committee was really more about doing things that were smaller. And so that's where we headed, and that's why we got to the streetery and the shoppery and some other programs. One of the things, I want to show you the PowerPoint slide. I wanted to see if there's any questions about kind of the current state before I kind of get into the budget conversation though. Let me share the.
Sorry, Jason, I did want to ask you, as you're talking with the employers downtown, I've been hearing that July 19th is kind of the magic date that people are going to start bringing folks back to the office. Is that consistent with what you're hearing?
What date did you say, Shannon?
July 19th. So that would be almost exactly 2 weeks after July 4th, which makes sense from a COVID standpoint.
There's no consistent time that I'm hearing, and it is like from the different employers, you're getting different dates, like August 1st for some are saying May 1st that they'd like for people to start coming in. It's so varied. You know, my office has been open since March, and we closed in, March, and we really closed pretty late, like New Year's. So we were only closed for 2 months, but we worked from home. So it's so different from everybody, one way or another.
Okay, thank you.
But if you have a specific business, I could probably find out the scenario. And what you're talking about with July 19th is, if I had to average out the dates, that's about the average though.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was wanting just a general idea of what you were hearing. So
Yeah, that's about the average.
Jason, do you know whether the Wells Fargo branch on Main and Second ever reopened?
I don't think it did. And that's one of the things, because I'm actually, that's on my list. That's pretty astute, Tony, because you must bank there or have some view from your office.
Yeah, I've got a safety deposit box there, and you've got to make really strange arrangements days in advance to get to it.
Yeah. They closed the one on 4th Street, and then we have the one that was downtown. And so I definitely plan on getting to the bottom of that. And there's a number of different places where if they wanted to open up a new branch, I'd love for them to do that. But, I'll just leave it there. But I will find out and email you and let you know, probably today.
Is there any more questions on updates of what's going on or plannings for downtown right now? If not, if we can quickly go to the budget, Jason.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm going to share the screen. All right. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
All right. So I am moving a few things around here. So the okay. All right, so a couple of things that we're going to be working on this year. And I know I'm moving the screen around, so I hope I'm not making anybody dizzy here. A couple of things I wanted to talk about that are important, that stand out from the normal expenditures, that are the downtown plan update. We'll make a contribution to the efforts of the downtown plan update. And that is the 2023 plan that we'll be working on for the next year and a half. The last time a plan was published was 2013. The 2013 plan needs to be updated every 10 years. And so the 2023 plan is a very important document. That document helped us shed the path for things like Marshall Park, the two-way conversions of 1st and 2nd Liberty and Main, things like the creative corridors and many other projects that were justified through bond initiatives. So they first get announced in the pipeline in the downtown plan updates, or the downtown plan. Their advocacy builds, that advocacy turns into action. And then years down the road, we see the results of it. So it's an important process. One of the things that we also like to do is to update the landing page for our website to include some more advanced graphics, something that would be like moving video if at all possible. Another thing that we have talked about in the past that I'd like to try to move on this year is a public art piece on the side wall of the Hampton Inn, which is right at the corner of 3rd and Town Run Lane. And it is talk to the business owner and the property owner, and they've agreed to allow us to use it, have permission. And we would probably go to the Public Art Commission, raising a combination of public and private money to provide a mural that would be complementary to the Mercel Park and Caladium project, which would be opening in 2023 as well. So I think this would create a nice visual for the kids getting off the buses and for pedestrians, and an improvement over the precast concrete facade of the parking deck, which is, I think it's a nice canvas. And I expect to do more of these things with bid funds and their typical bid funds in other cities. We expect to do advanced holiday events and programming this year. We felt like we were robbed of that with the pandemic last year, and development updates and programming. On the budget piece, I want to share with you that the total budget, the left column here is shaded going top to bottom. I'm going all the way to the bottom first. The total budget right now is was 633 in the existing year, which ends June 30th, 2021. The budget for the upcoming year is 596,470 that is available for work plan. That is a conservative estimate, and it's likely to potentially rise. So right now, if it does go up, we would proportionally share the funds among each of the budget categories, which is what's been our practice in the past. But I think this is a reaction to making sure that in case there's significant appeals in the real estate property appraisal process, that those are considered, which are still active right now, and they're done through July 1 when people get their bill. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. We're also going through and changing the way, after looking at practices for several other cities and the way that they do business improvement districts, budgeting, and we're including the administrative portion in each of the categories and the total costs. So you'll see our admin cost here will be going straight to overhead, and you'll see the numbers for each category as I scroll up. Cleaner, safe environment is really the categories thrust into each of the service areas, with the personnel and administrative cost included in the categories. What we're seeing is a continuance of our clean and safe program and all of the different things that I talked about earlier, having contingency available for snow removal, and also for the rental of the storage area for the clean team. And this would include contract with the Bud Group and their subcontractors, which have been busy at work. One of the things that we've seen a lot of in the past year during the pandemic is graffiti removal, and all of those services are maintained. One of the things that has also been very helpful is the communications with the clean team and the police department and the people who are constant and frequent visitors of downtown. There's a lot of camaraderie and acceptance of each other's mission, and a lot of shared solidarity, love for downtown. Stronger marketing and promotion is the next program. I talked a little bit about the categories, but here's the budget figures. One of the things that we'll be talking about is obviously ad campaigns. That's really the thrust of the program. Will still be in COVID recovery as we get into the budget. We talked about the website updates. We have a pretty significant buy in a visitor guide. That's about $4,000 to $5,000. That's in the Visit Winston-Salem's annual guide that they print hundreds of thousands of. Accelerated development is, you'll see many of our updated maps, and we're also doing some other surveys of storefront space for real estate analysis. And what that gives us is a real key to which buildings are available. And then we transmit that on our website to potential visitors. And we're constantly working with potential investors and storefront space downtown. I just recently was working with a business, and I found them a location, and they're in negotiations right now. During the pandemic, one of the businesses that we recruited to downtown was the Cheesecakes by Alex, which moved into 625 North Trade Street. And that was through our efforts. We literally get into the car with people, drive them around the city, explain to them the different available spaces, and then we follow up in a more targeted way. Once they get locked in with a property, then we bow out for them to have their negotiated conversations with them. In enhanced physical appearance, if you look at the different things here, enhanced physical appearance, we're going to be doing some trash can replacement. And we're also going to be probably repairing the walkable pedestrian signs around orange kiosk maps this year. That's our goal. It does take time to get them uploaded. The Passageway Phase 2 improvements, they just have to be maintained. There's no major cost there. We did have to replace one of the cameras recently. And we're always replacing banners and holiday decorations. One of the things that I was talking to our chair, Ms. Joyner, about is our Christmas tree. I think I hear her loud and clear that we need to make that a priority, and that's important to me. And so that's really the biggest thing as far as, you see, property tax collections is something that we get a lot of. If you look at the budget year going down the bottom of the page, the property tax collections, there's an administrative cost for that, which is constant each year. The contingency, which is always a good thing. And then the last year of the capital funds was for the 6 Cherry Trade deck was last year. So that was from the reserve. That's why the budget was so much more this past year. So at the bottom of the day, we're looking at maybe right now, maybe like a $35,000 delta between the total monies different from last year and this year. And, but I think that will possibly go up, and I'll just leave it there and see if there's any questions. I do have another page to go through if you'd like. I'd like to share with you the overall work plan.
Anyone have any questions?
Let me go to the work plan, and then we can stop again if there's any questions. This is the precast concrete wall that I mentioned. You can see this was during construction. The plywood is now removed, but you can see how that would make, it's got a really nice visual facing 3rd and Town Run Lane, and I think it makes an excellent backdrop for a mural. This is the copy of the downtown plan to the far right on the page. This is, you can see on the bottom, it says 2013. A priority of wanting to get more holiday specials and holiday programming. We really want to kick off a great Christmas season this year because we felt like we've got to get 2 for 1. And that's something I've been hearing from my board and from all stakeholders downtown, that Christmas will be very important this year. And then we also have the website update. Let me go to the next page. So I won't go through all of this, but I wanted you guys to see all of the bid and non-bid stuff, all of the detailed listing of projects that we do. This is something that it talks about all of our benchmarks and the things that we share. And I wanted you guys to know that we get engaged. I don't want to show this to you guys because I think it is too much information and I can read the room, but I wanted to share with you our overall work plan and go through the entire plan and things. But many of our programs that I didn't mention, I want to talk about some of the events and promotions first. Downtown Jazz, Summer on Liberty, the tree lighting, Tuba Christmas, the annual meeting, the fall meeting, the streetery, now the shoppery, Shop the Block, which is a week-long shopping promotion. And then our holiday program, Eat, Shop, and Be Merry, which will be revamped. We have a number of communications, our weekly newsletter, which I hope all of you get. If you don't get it, please let me know and I will add you to our email list. If you look at some of the coordination that we have with other committees, they're pretty consistent with our downtown goals. Obviously this committee, the Public Safety Committee, Downtown Restaurant Club Roundtable, Public Art Commission, and many, many others. Some of the things that we are constantly involved in is we're involved in the direct daily engagement with storefront and business owners. I'll tell you, one of the things that does come to us a lot as a piece is that a lot of people come to us and want us to ask the business owners for discounts or coordinated discounts for their group coming out of town. And we don't do that. Our business owners have been very clear with us that they don't want us to do that on their behalf. And so we don't do that. And it's helpful that we get direct feedback such as that. A lot of the maintenance and cleaning, a lot of the things that we do from event barricades to different things are all listed here. Measurements, and I won't go into that, but they're always in the annual report that we present. And some of the other projects that we have as advocacy projects, that these are important. These are things that we want to be advocates for, strong advocates for. Collective trash compactor program. Right now, Waste Management is in the middle of renegotiating their multi-year contract. And so we've asked them to see if they would include more recycling for downtown services, increased bike patrol presence. We met with Public Safety Chair for the City Council, Mr. Taylor, Councilmember Taylor last week, and shared that with him. One of the things that we also need is an update on technology for on-street parking. And then security camera integration with parks and private property. And I'm proud to say that the City Police Department is actually working on that. And what we're doing right now is trying to get people with private cameras to contribute those feeds, both either just the location or the feeds themselves through a program called PUSAs. And that's a whole nother story, which I'll share at another meeting another time. But that's my report, Ms. Chair.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any questions of note on any of the line items or on the different categories that the bid is potentially putting money and effort to? No? Okay. Does anyone have any other items to bring to the committee this morning?
Chair, we do, if we can take a vote on the budget and work plan just as a recommendation to include in the manager's proposed budget to City Council.
All right. Do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
All right. I believe we have a motion to accept and a second.
I'll second.
Meredith, vote?
Yes, ma'am. Tony Brett?
In favor.
Kelly Brown?
Approve.
Mike Cashin?
Approve.
Chad Cheek? Rodney Davis? Lauren Desai? Vivian Joyner?
Approve.
Shannon Meyer? And Charles Wilson. Okay.
All right. Ms. Hairston, you said you had some interest and concerns. You want to take a moment or two and speak to the committee?
Well, so I'm kind of put on the spot because I had no idea I was being invited to this meeting or what this meeting, I mean, I hear what it entails of, so I don't know how my concerns and what I'm doing with the community that I'm rehabilitating, how it fits in with this meeting.
Okay. You mentioned you're trying to help and rehabilitate your childhood neighborhood. What neighborhood is that?
It's Patterson, it's North Patterson Avenue.
North.
And then it's Haynes Middle School, that entire area. Back in 2017, I came back and bought my father's house that was inherited to me that I lost within 2 years after inheriting it. And, once I have to candidly, and I hope I don't disrespect anyone, but once God brought me to the place where he actually brought me, I just have done a total transformation. And I came back and bought the house. The neighborhood was awful. It was nothing like it was when I grew up as a child. It was a family-oriented neighborhood. It was just like drug infested and slandered. It just was nothing that I was familiar with. So I just set my hands in it and start buying more properties. And in buying the properties, I only rent to families. It's not about the money because I make no profit. So, and it's all being self-funded by myself. So I have been just renting to families that want to possibly make it their first home and buy it from me at what I put in it. One of the houses, the girl, I literally let her just pick out what she wanted, and she know the prices, so we all be on the same page of what is owed. And that's just the project that I'm working on. And now I'm kind of geared towards Haynes Memorial. I mean, not Haynes Memorial, that's the church I grew up in. Haynes Middle School and Lawrence, and seeing about turning that into a community enrichment center. And I have been petitioning, I've been walking through the neighborhood, like I started from the top of Liberty and parked my car in every block and went from house to house just to get a census on how everyone felt about the neighborhood and the changes that were going on. And that's one of the projects that I'm working on right now, like I said, is to see about turning Haynes Middle School into an enrichment community center that houses STEM programs for the youth, that houses adult training programs, that houses, senior citizens, programs for them. I even feel as though there should be some type of health services in there, to help with the community where they can go. And because it's such a big school, I can see where a portion of it can be turned into not a homeless shelter, but a temporary placement for uprooted families that possibly needs to have some kind of support to get back to where they need to, with having counselors there and having people there to adjust them, to help them get adjusted. Not a permanent program, but a program to work them towards, getting to a better place. I'm very, very, very interested in making sure that, financial literacy is educated. They're educated on that. So there's a project that I'm kind of been working on, and
you sound like you have a very large, a very detailed project, but it's a big mouth to chew.
It is, and that's why I'm wondering how I got in this meeting, because I've been in contact with Ms. Burke and the city manager. Like, I've been working towards this. I even have a brochure that let me, if I could pull it up, I'll show it to you, that I take to the homeowners. Yeah. And instead of me just talking to them, I leave it with them so that they won't forget about me coming by, and they'll think about it.
I'm going to put a couple of the committee members and staff on the spot. I think that possibly Meredith and Jason may be able to give you a contact name of some folks that may be in that community or have hands to that community that might be able to give you some guidance and direction. But the bid committee is focused solely and very tightly on just the center city downtown. So our arms nor our funding can reach as far as North Patterson in those neighborhoods. But it's definitely good work, and it definitely is something that needs to be done. So Jason, Meredith, if you can get her contact information and maybe give a name or two.
Mm-hmm. Chair, I have Ms. Harrison's contact information. Ms. Harrison, I'll give you a call once this meeting adjourns this morning.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there?
So let me ask you this, does the up part of Patterson, because there's a part of Patterson that is still kind of downtown. Now, the majority of it that's solely downtown has already been changed over from what the historic look was for me. But there is a portion like right over Liberty is that still considered downtown?
Let me answer that one if that's okay, because it gets into real distinct boundaries. And Ms. Harrison, you're absolutely right that part of Patterson Avenue, because it does run north and south through the heart of downtown's innovation quarter, and then does extend north into your childhood neighborhood. So you're absolutely right. Patterson Avenue, same Patterson Avenue. The Patterson Avenue that runs to the innovation quarter, though, is not involved in the boundaries of this business improvement district. It actually ends about 3 blocks to the west of it on Chestnut Street. It does go diagonal, so it does not include that Patterson Avenue area. But I'll tell you, it's Meredith probably has the map on the Downtown Business Improvement District page, but it's easily findable on Google. But I can also send it to you if you want to call me. I love hearing people with passion like such as you, and I have some ideas for if you want to call me and about how you can be, but that may not be helpful to you. If it is, then I'd love to help you, but that is the part of Patterson Avenue. So I just wanted to make sure you got your question answered properly.
Okay, so I will definitely give you a call because my childhood neighborhood is one thing, but I'm really looking at the entire area that has just totally changed from what I'm used to in it being. And it's just, it's a strong passion I have to rehabilitate it and make it become like what it looked like make it become a beautiful part of Winston-Salem as well, but not uproot the people that lives there.
Yeah, well, my organization has its roots in the same type of innovative and energetic feelings about decline that you currently have about your neighborhood. So there's a lot of national examples too, and I can share with you a lot of that in my experience.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. May I have, if everyone is clear, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, before we adjourn, I have one request.
Yes,
Could
sir.
either Meredith or Jason send out to us those slides with the budget and the work plan that we approved?
Yeah. So Jason, can you send out the updated budget that you presented today?
Absolutely. I'll send it to Meredith and then she'll send it to you guys.
All right.
That way they have it for the city council too.
All right. Anything else? May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Shannon. May I have a second? It's been moved in second. It is adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a great week. Please stay safe, wear your mask, stay away from each other, and wash your hands.
Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
for inviting me.